Hello, everyone. My name is Cornelius Chopin. I'm one of the co-manager of the Adobe Users Group in Austin. We've been doing this group, well, I've been part of this group for over 20 years, I think, somewhere around there. After about 10 years, it becomes a blur. But it's been quite a way. It's been over 10 years, I'm sure.
I
Uh,
think it's
I-
more like 30.
is it 30 years?
It's getting close to 30 years. I think I started the Macromedia group in 93, maybe 90.
Wow. Yeah, I know, like I said, after 10 years, it's just a blur. I mean, time go by fast.
Or
Uh,
whenever Adobe bought Macromedia, that's when we
I
changed
think
the.
that was 2008, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's been a while. But anyway, Karen and I have been part of the group since its conception, back in the days. So we've done a little bit. I used to do Flash. Flash is, I don't see too much about Flash or Animate, which is a replacement for Flash. I don't see much about Dreamweaver anymore, but all of the AI stuff is coming up to speed, right? There's a lot of stuff in Photoshop. We talked about AI. Now Illustrator has embraced a lot of AI, which is what we're going to be covering tonight. And this is part three of I was going to say a part three series, or a three-part series, but actually there's a lot more stuff that I can cover that I won't be able to do tonight, because there's just so much stuff that's being thrown at us within the Illustrator, but it's a lot of good stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this over, talk about what we covered in the previous um, session. By the way, the Austin Adobe Group Users Group meet once a month, the second Thursday of every month, via Zoom. So if you
6
want to
p.m.
participate, and if you know anyone that's wanting to present, let us know. We'd be happy to have you as a speaker or presenter. But with that in mind, what we covered the last, I think, well, this is part three. We talked about object on a path. So we showed you how to take multiple object and literally add it to a path easily. We talked about text to vector graphics. We talked about the new live star tool and how to change font characteristics from bold, italics, and underline, which may seem trivial today, but that's been missing from Illustrator for over a decade. We talked about the mockup tool, how you can map vector to object, if you will, and it would conform to that object, a cup or a t-shirt or a hat, whatever. It literally wraps itself around it, which is really cool, I think. Today, we're going to be talking everything generative, right? The key word is generative. Okay, so we're going to talk about shape fill. We're going to talk about generative expand, generative recolor, and generative. This is, by the way, the best. So I'm gonna save the best for last. So do not leave because you're gonna miss. This just blows me out of the water. Okay, which is called generative. I think it's called turntable. I call it turnaround, but actually I think this is turntable. Uh, I'm telling you, this is slicker than slime. How many of you know slime is slick? Okay, this is you don't want to miss this. Okay, and there's some other things that I'm not going to cover tonight because I didn't rehearse for it. But there's more stuff to come, maybe in part four of this multi-part series. So with that in mind, let's talk about the generative shape fill and what that means. Now, in the previous sessions, we talked about how you can create a shape just by using a prompt, right? Everything is AI these days. All you got to do is type a prompt, bam, and there you have it, right? So, and let's just show you that first, and because this is going to be a precursor to this generative shape fill, which is what we're going to be talking about next. But just for a review for some of you, we can click on this little button here called Generate Vector, and it's going to give you the dialog box, generate vector, and you give it a prompt. And for the sake of time, I am going to just select one of these items. These are prompt inspirations, right? I could type something in here, but for the sake of time, I'm going to just type in, grab something that's already there. But you could type in whatever you want, and then you can convert it to a shape, or a scene rather, a subject, or an icon. I'm going to keep it as a subject, and I'm going to hit generate and let the magic begin. Now, while generating, take a look at these tips. If you can read them, you may not be able to read it on your screen. But these are some helpful tips that allows you to create useful AI. So we added a prompt, we hit the generate button. How many of you with a little effort think you can do that? How many of you can type just whatever you want and hit the generate button with a little effort? How many of you can do that? Sure, you look at that. Okay, so there we have one iteration of that. Let me move this thing out of my way. That's another one, and then that's another one. Okay, so you could type whatever you want to get the image you want. I don't know how many beginner jobs this is going to take away, but I'm gonna just say cat on moon. Let's say cat on moon. Okay, again, I'm just typing in cat on moon at night with story. And this is something new, I believe they added, where it kind of gives you some suggestions as well. For those who are not, script writers like myself, I need all the help I can get. Okay, so cat on moon at night with starry sky. So hit generate, wait for it, wait for it. And it's going to create a cat on the moon on a starry night. And it's going to create 3 variations of that shape, that vector. And so that's 1 iteration, that's 2 iteration, and then that's 3. And then you can do this again, because I really don't like those. So I'm going to generate 3 more additional versions. Hopefully something a little bit better. That's a little bit better for me, that one. That's kind of cute. Okay, so anyway, you could just type your prompt and it's going to create an image based off of that prompt. How cool is that? Is that not cool or not? Okay,
That's
uh,
pretty cool.
that is really cool. So that's what we call generative vector or generate vectors. Literally type whatever you want. The more descriptive you are, the better the image. And you can when you create an image, you can also click the what tool am I looking for here? Let's see, right here. Um, you have other options that we talked about in the past that you can select from as far as the scene, the subject icon, how much details you want. So again, you can use some of these sliders to dictate what type of object you create and how much detail you want to create in that object. For example, if I want minimum I want an object, a vector with less details. If I click on that, it's going to give me maybe an image with not so many objects in it, right? So if I go this way, then you get a really big vector. So again, anyway, we went over that last time. So what I want to do today is show you how to create an object, whatever you want, inside of a shape. Okay, kind of like paste object inside of a shape. So let's start off with a somewhat complex shape, and that is using the start tool. I'll create that shape and I'm gonna add an object to it, or I'm gonna add a vector to it. So again, there's 2 ways of doing this. You could go down over here where it says generate shape fill, or for me, I'm gonna double click type person. I love to do that. So I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna select it from here. Okay, that's too far over in the corner to go way over here. That's too much effort for me. So I'm gonna go right here and do generate shape fill. And I'm gonna type in something. I'm gonna do something real simple, keep it simple for the students, kids, we call it, right? So I'm gonna do bird and tree. Okay. Bird and tree. And let's see if I want to, that's fine. I'm gonna just keep it simple. Um, keep it simple. And then I'm gonna do generate. And it's gonna create 3 iterations again of a bird and a tree, but this time it's gonna put it within that shape. So this
Cornelius,
is, go ahead.
I just noticed that the Illustrator you're using is a beta.
Right.
Can you
And
tell
and I
us which
need
version you're working with?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's a version out right now. I don't know what version it is, and then this is a beta version. So, and you can download this from the Creative Cloud
Mhm.
suite.
But
But
it's only the beta that can do what you're doing.
no, this can do the latest version can do all of this. The last thing that I do, you need the beta version to do. And I don't want to disclose what that is until you see it because it's
Okay.
okay.
That bird in a tree is outstanding.
Okay. And then so that's one, that's two, and that's three. How cool is that? Okay. That's one shape. Let's look at another shape. Let's because and this is going to be a precursor to, by the way, when you create a shape like that, it actually just use that shape to define the image that you want to put in it. It actually put that shape on top of it. So you can select that and hit delete. Okay.
I
So
see.
you're just using the shape as a mask. John liked that word, to create the image inside of it. Okay, so let's use another shape because this is going to be a precursor to the next technique, which is generative expand. Okay, so let's do something in this shape. So let's give it a shape, generative shape fill again, and I'm gonna say bird in a tree again. Well, let's say cat in tree. Okay, I'm keeping it simple for you. Okay, cat and tree with full moon background. Let's kind of add a little flair to it. And then I'm gonna hit generate and wait for it.
Now
And
we see if they face off against each other, the cat and the bird.
and again, you have control over a lot of aspects. I'm just keeping it simple, but you can control a lot of the details and whatnot of that. So that's the cat in the tree. That's a cat in the tree. And that's his killer cat. And then again, if you don't like that, you can generate again. But I did that to show you that once you create an image in a shape, you can, like Photoshop, you got the generative expand feature in Photoshop. You could do that with this shape. So if I select this shape, notice there's a generative expand option down at the bottom here. Now click on that, watch these little I don't know, handles, I guess, for lack of words, that will appear on the edges of that shape. So I'm gonna hit generative, that's a hard word for me to say, generative expand. Okay, you see these little white handles? Well, you can just pull it out that way, you can pull it out that way, up, top, bottom, left, right. I'm gonna do this side and I'm gonna do this side. Okay. And you see the little pink area right here? This is what it's going to expand to, but it's going to take the existing image and just interpolate, I guess that's a technical term there, uh, and fill in the rest with details. How cool is that? So you could add a prompt. We're not going to do that. That's optional, but we're going to do generate. And again, let the magic begin.
This makes it remarkably easy for you to make your own logo or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, how cool is that? I mean, is that not cool or not? Oh, by the way, you got to hit the done button to commit it, and then you can see that the original one that I had there, but it actually expanded, and this is a half of a tree, right? It expanded that tree. Is that not cool or not?
It's
Uh,
amazing.
gave you some grass and whatnot. I'm telling you, that just blows me out of the water. And the best is yet to come. Okay, you think that's impressive? Wait to the end.
You
Okay.
know, I feel a little reprieve because I've been a wordsmith my whole life. And for as long as I've been a part of this group, I have never mastered the Adobe creation tools. And it's like now I can just use my ability to use words
Yeah.
to have it enslaved to do exactly what I want.
That's
Yep. Isn't
interesting.
that amazing? Okay, so that's generative expand. Okay, so let me just do this. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna scale it down a little bit. because I want to do something else. So I'm gonna right click and do copy, and I'm gonna do paste, paste in front. So that's two of them. So I got two copies of it. Because we're going to use the next technique, which is called generative recolor. So if you got an image you want to match maybe your background or your branding, we love that word, right? Branding, right? Brand recognition. Y'all familiar with that, right?
Right.
And so if we want to match our color theme or brand or maybe a mood, right? Midnight madness or something, whatever. Uh, we could do that with color generative, I have to say that slowly, recolor. So the way you do that is you do edit, go up to edit colors, and go to generative recolor, click on that, and then you get some options of to choose from. I'm gonna do this dark blue, midnight. What about that? Okay. And then I'm gonna hit generate. Again, you could type in whatever you want as your prompt. I'm not too creative when it comes to color prompts, but you can type your own prompt in, or you can select from this list and then click the generate button. Again, how many of you would have left you think you can do that? Select and then click generate. I love that. Okay, hit generate and wait for the magic to begin. And there you have it. And then I can select these and you can see that obviously it's different from this one right here. Okay, is that not cool? That's
That's
cool.
awesome.
Is that not cool? Anybody? Anybody? Or is it
Yeah.
just me?
Very cool.
Okay, I'm just excited about that. Um, Now, I got one more thing to show tonight because I'm not going to keep you guys too long tonight. I think all of these, again, you just go in and experiment with this stuff, but just, yeah, literally just two steps. I mean, select, click, select, click, select, click. You can do that, right? I can. Okay. Uh, but let's look at the most favorite tool. And this was, I was looking for this the last time, but it wasn't available in the current version. Well, this is still not a version available in the current version, but this is available in the beta version. So you need to download the beta version of Photoshop. Excuse me, of Illustrator in order for you to do this. Now, John, you really appreciate this. I'm telling you. Can you imagine me taking that 3D object? I mean, that's 2D object right there, a 2D vector, and making it a 3D? You think that's a difficult process to do? And rotate it in, you love that term,
Well,
3D space.
yeah. Can you really do? Okay, do it.
He said, do it. Watch this. I'm telling you, this is slicker than slime. I'm telling you, this is cool. Again, I saved the best for last. I know all of this is easy. You can see I wasn't doing much, right? Select, click for crying out loud, right? Watch this. The new turntable feature right here in the property panel. I'm gonna click on this, watch what happens. I'm telling you, this is cool. Okay, I'm gonna click on that, wait for it. Now I already did it earlier, but typically it takes about a minute to process. But since I'd already done it, it gives you this little menu right here. Now watch this. Y'all ready? In fact, let me do this. Let me see if I can, because I'm on my
Can
own.
you zoom so the whole thing's bigger for us?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm gonna zoom in on this so you can appreciate this a lot better.
Yeah, that helps.
Okay. And then we'll pan it down. Okay, because when you see this, I'm telling you, it's going to blow you away. Okay, so let me move this thing out of my way a little bit. Can you guys see that big cat
Yep.
Yeah.
right there? So let me do that again. I'm going to select what I want to affect, the golden rule. Only what's selected gets affected by what you do next, right? I'm going to hit turntable again. I get that little menu down at the bottom here. Y'all ready? Y'all ready?
What's that slider?
It's just a rotating slider.
Okay, okay.
Y'all ready?
Yep.
Okay, watch this. I'm telling you, this is gonna blow you away. I promise you. Watch this. I'm gonna slide this. Is that not slicker
Woo!
than slime?
Woo!
Huh?
Pretty neat.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, that just blows me away.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm
Okay,
thinking about all the times you spend hours teaching us how to do 3D images in other
okay.
programs.
So you go from a 2D graphics to a 3D just with one click. I mean, you think you can click that little button right there, and convert that thing to 3D. Now, so once you have the the position you want, you can also click on this button here and go up elevation, right? And move it
Mm,
around.
Oh my gosh.
Or what
wow.
about the down elevation, right?
You
Go
get
down.
you get a drone view.
But just being able to create that 3D object just blows me out of the water. I'm sorry.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That just now. Once you have that object, you do an insert view. So you could typically, well, John knows about this. When you're dealing with 3D, you have the top view, you have the bottom view, the left view, and the right view, right? The different views of an object that you can look at, right? So you could do an insert another view, right? And then manipulate that view. So I can have that cat looking toward that one. Maybe I want to do another insert, and maybe I'll put him here and have him looking that way. Okay, how easy is that? Tell me, how easy is that? Is that not easy?
That's remarkable.
Am I the only one excited?
We're speechless.
Yeah, it's remarkable.
Am I the only one? I'm telling you, when I saw that, I saw this about 3 months ago, and I searched the web for it, and they just had it at the Max conference, but they finally added it to Illustrator, only in the beta version. But to me, I'm telling you, this is worth the price of admission, right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
That is just, I'm telling you, that is all coolness.
it's amazing.
Okay. So now you're not just limited by just having a character like a cat or an animal or a person. I did this actually, and it may take some time. I'm gonna delete this just so I can get some real estate. Let me create I'm gonna do a cat in a couch. You know how you like that, cat in a couch. Uh, and see if we can do that. So do a cat on a couch. A couch.
Actually, I'm a little disappointed. I thought when you hit transform, it was going to turn into a lion.
So let me do a cat on a couch. And this is going to take a little bit of while, so we might be able to chat between this being processed. But let's see. We'll get this cat on a couch, and then we're going to use the turntable. By the way, this works with any vector. So you create your own vector and make a 3D object out of it. Is that crazy or not?
Amazing. Do you think that this is going to migrate into other programs like Photoshop?
Oh, oh yeah. There's another program. There's another thing called Nero, I believe. If let me see.
Is that an Adobe program?
Haven't
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
it.
yeah. That's Adobe. Where is it? Or what's new? Let me see. Let's see right here. So if you do what's new, I think there's something called Nero or something like that. What's new in Illustrator?
Dimension.
No, I forget what it's called. I think it's like NE. Oh. Yeah, I don't see it in here, but yeah, there's some other things that you can do 3D with both, I think, in Photoshop and Illustrator. So I got this. Let me see if I can find one. See which one I like. Okay, let's do this one. So I think I did this one earlier. Now, that is a complex drawing, mind you, right? You think? A complex vector shape. Can you imagine making that 3D where I can rotate it?
With the
Huh?
plants and the couch.
Yeah, the cat, the couch, and the plants, all in 3D.
So it's all proportional and looks like we're really seeing it from any angle.
Okay, let's just see if this works. Now, it's going to balk at me saying, you shouldn't be doing this, but I wanted to stretch the limits, right? To see what happens. Now, I hope it works because it worked earlier. But let's see if we can stretch the limit and make this a 3D object from a 2D object with one click. One click. I love that. Okay, so we're going to go to that turntable feature, turntable, click that. Okay, see what it said. The input may lack a clear, well-defined subject. Typically, you want to work with a single object, if you will. It could be too simple, it could be too complex, or contain multiple elements, making it unsuitable for the turntable operation. That's fine. But I wanted to stretch the limit and see what it would do, right?
Let's go. Yeah, go
Okay,
for
so
it.
y'all excited? Y'all excited as me? Now again, it's gonna take a while, so bear with me. So I'm gonna hit yes. I'm gonna say forget you. I want to proceed anyway. So I'm gonna hit yes. Now again, it's gonna take a little bit of time. Actually doing a little bit faster than I did when I did it earlier. Gonna take a couple minutes. So if you got any questions in the meantime, ask them. Generating vectors. Okay, it's progressing rather fast actually. Maybe gotta close up some of my other applications. It's kind of slowed down a little bit there on me. Okay, give it a minute. Any questions while we wait?
Well, I have a question of a sort, I guess. So you must have a real yin to go explore the new. And I admire that.
Yeah, I do like to find out what's new in Photoshop and Illustrator. Used to be Flash. Flash used to be my baby back in the days. I hadn't done Flash I think Flash went away in 2020. So I hadn't done Flash in over 6 years. Um, and I don't see much about the Adobe Animate mentioned. I don't hear much about Dreamweaver. I used to do a lot of Dreamweaver stuff. So some of the tools are probably dying, everything's going AI now, right? Everything is AI. And it's crunching along. Any other questions while we're waiting?
But when you think about it, with these three different objects, I mean the plants and the pots and the couch and so forth, to make the 3D turning to an angle, everything is going to have to somehow do it in a pretty proportional way. That's
Yep.
pretty amazing.
Yep. You're speaking right. So let's see what we can do. Generating vector. So it's now, and the reason why it's taking so much time, as you mentioned, I mean, this is some serious algorithm. That's a technical term, right? A processing for you non-geeks out there. To be able to create from rotating that object 360 degrees, I got to create an image for each degree of rotation in vector. So you can imagine that is some serious processing. The reason why it's almost there, so much processing power, because it's literally having to look at this and kind of gradually rotate it in 3D space, right? I love that term. To create a 3D rendering. There you go, another technical term there. I'm on all kind of technical terms tonight. Okay, so y'all ready? Y'all not ready?
Yep.
Are y'all ready?
Oh,
Anybody?
yes, the
I'm ready.
suspense.
This expense, right? A drum roll. Y'all ready? So here we
Yes,
go. Here
can't
we
wait.
go.
Wow.
Oh,
Now again, it's not perfect, but you know,
Well,
to me, this would be hard for me to do, even with a program like Blender, right? So if I want to do some little cartoon type animation or image, this is government. What I like to say, good enough for government work. I work for the state, so I can say that.
more character. When you put it at an angle like this, it adds more character to the image.
So again, it's not perfect, but you can go in and clean it up after the fact, right? To me, if it just did the cat, that was impressive, right? But to do the cat, the couch, and two minute plants, I'm telling you, that just blows me away. I'm sorry.
yep.
Yeah.
And because they are not really attached to the center object, the couch, it's amazing how they stay in relative position.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
how does it do that? I don't know. I'm telling you, this just
As you rotate it, we're seeing some phantom images
yeah,
around the
and
back.
again, it's not perfect. There's some like artifacts right here. You probably could go in and once you rotate it, you can
Right.
clean that up though, because once you get out of this, you basically, let me just get out of this and show you that, like right here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Control Z. You can ungroup this thing, I believe. Ungroup all, and then just go in and kind of delete what you don't need. I don't know why deleting everything. I may need to ungroup. I guess I got to do several ungroup.
You have to ungroup it.
Yeah, may have to do ungroup all. You can basically, you can go into, let's do window layers, right? And find the object, that
Oh my.
you want to delete or whatever. And
Look at how many layers it's
yeah,
created.
and there's a lot. There's a lot of layers that you can go in and select. Let's say I wanted to delete, that I could, or hide it,
I can
That little
imagine.
thing right there, I can hide it.
I
I
can,
can
go
look, I
ahead.
can just get rid of that thing right there. How cool is that?
Imagine this image in a children's book, and you turn it at different angles on different pages and have different.
Mhm.
So you can
Having the different
find the object
angles.
that you need to delete and just delete it. It's just, and it automatically creates all of these layers for you, right? When you did the AI stuff for it. So my biggest concern is how much of, I think this may take away what I call entry-level positions, right? And I don't think it's going to affect us the creative types, right? But for entry-level positions, this might, I don't know. Again, I'm just speaking from what I think might happen. So what do y'all think about that?
Amazing. What I'm thinking about is that, especially for a children's book, if you can create a graphic and put it in 3D like this, it draws the audience, the user in, because it makes me feel like I'm seeing this cat on a couch from a corner of the room. It moves me around in a way.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's more interesting when you get an angle on it like this instead of flat out front.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are all generative stuff that I picked up now. And again, there's a lot of other things that I'm going to be talking about maybe in part 4, which is probably going to be, we're going to get the guy to do next month. And
Well,
can
I have not gotten a response from him. Let me, if I may, please,
do
I'll wrap this up just
yeah, I
by
was about to say, can you
stating a
stop the
few things
recorder?
about the group, and I'll stop the recording, then we can talk about our program.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
want to add on at the end, if you wouldn't mind, since you're sharing your screen, go to the web, to our website, that the Austin Adobe User Group has a website at austinadobeusergroup.com. And on that site, we put the announcements for each of our monthly meetings. And a day or two after the meeting occurs, I put a recording of that meeting into the announcement. So you can go back and see all of the previous meetings
Oh,
that
that's
we've
great.
had with the embedded video on them. You have to open up each blog post into a single post page, and then you'll find the embedded video where it says read more. It will take you into where there's video on almost every recording. And also on our homepage up at the top, we have a place where you can sign up for our email list. And joining the group is free. You simply have to sign up for the list and then attend one meeting. And we also do have a raffle, which we have been a little negligent about, but because we have so few attendees here, but we believe that we are still continuing to get 2 subscriptions, annual subscriptions to Creative Cloud that we can raffle off to members who attend our meetings. And that's very nice swag that's available, that is a prize for listening to our brilliant presentations every month.
And there we have it. 1993 is when we started, huh? Macromedia. I remember Macromedia.
Yep. So, okay, I will
Like
stop the recording now.
Great.
And thank you all very much. Bravo. Yay.
So, and if you want to, this is part 1 and part 2 of some of the features that I covered in previous
Yeah.
sessions.
I'm going to go back and look at that and other things too, because I've got a whole lot to catch up on and this is going to help me so much. I'm so grateful to you all. Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Please help to spread the word.